A warm welcome to all of you to this 72nd Rajagiri Roundtable. The topic now we have selected is something very different from the topics that we have selected earlier. And this is about the emerging, digital spaces, learning spaces across the world. So why this has happened is because we all know that the COVID situation created so many disruptions in education, and so many digital apps had to be suddenly used, and the infrastructure of the schools and colleges had to be stretched to the extreme level, or even new investments had to be made. So going ahead, we actually expect more such innovations to happen. And when you recall our childhood, even I remember in my 80s, there will always be some part of the school which we always cherish and remember. So when we go back to the school after 10 or 20 years, we expect that to be there. It can be like a mango tree, or it can be a place where children used to have a small meeting or gathering, or the playground. So many places in the, except the classroom. For me, every other place was really very interesting, and the place where I cherished and enjoyed. So there will be a lot of spaces like that. So how to make those spaces? Like when I went to school after 20 years, I saw that the playgrounds were converted into buildings for various classes, because they had increased the intake of children, and the +2 was also started. So the whatever play area was there, most of them was converted into buildings, so brick and mortar. So that's a big issue that many schools will face, because there is always a lack of space compared to what is required. So today what we are trying to address is the changes in the there is change happening in the technology sector, there is changes happening in the architecture, there is changes happening in the industry. So naturally this should reflect also in our schools. So how best we can have this kind of blending happening, how we can go about bringing a change in the overall ambience in schools. So that is going to be our discussion today. And we were actually prompted by this topic when Mr. Pradeep Vittal from Dubai actually mooted this idea of a phygital school. And he wrote about it in the December issue of December 2020 issue of Pallikudam. And so that was a inspiration for us to further look into this. And maybe we had one or two other articles also about phygital spaces emerging in the workplace and all the other areas. So today we'll be looking at how the learning spaces can become more interactive, how best we can utilize it in such a way that every corner becomes a learning experience. So, and also how the digital platform can be blended to the requirements of any school. Let it be a very high-end international school, or let it be a medium-level school in which I studied, or it can be even a very low level. So we'll be addressing all those issues in the coming 2 hours. And we'll start off with Pradeep Vittal, and let's explore the, I'll introduce the other speakers as we go by. So Pradeep Vittal has also written a book on school design, and he has done some good, extremely good work in the area of school design. So we look forward to some very good insights from Pradeep Vittal, and he's based in Dubai. And let's.
Thank you. Hello, thank you, Sri Kumar. Am I audible? Is it clear?
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. I'll pick up from where Sri left. Sri very correctly pointed out the kind of influence that educational environment has on an individual in terms of his skill sets, in terms of his personality, in terms of his behavior patterns. And then as teachers and educators, we are really in the very, very key position to mold our future generation. So my study and research has been into how to create educational environment conducive for all the future requirements and our future educational setups. I will share the screen with you and share a few of my findings and slides. And then I will let Sri open up the forum for further discussion. This is a slide that I have prepared, and the topic that was given to me was to identify, defining the need and nature of digital learning spaces. That's the topic that I am going to share and discuss with you. When in 4 decades ago, mid 70s, when I was in school, I was faced with an environment where the space was only physical. I had my classrooms, I had my teachers, I had my school corridors, I had my school building, and that's it. I came back. And then I was fortunate to live in a campus called Indian Institute of Technology, where library was a key element for me. So I used to go straight to the library again in the four walls to do some learning myself. So that was the physical environment in 1970s and mid 70s. Slowly, as technology progressed, as human beings started bringing in more innovations in all industries, we had the advent of internet. In mid 1980s, we had a full-fledged internet into the market, and knowingly and unknowingly, we were living in a phygital environment. It was not defined, but we were bound to live in a space where internet and telecommunication and GPS all slowly became part and parcel of our life. We cannot detach it from our life. If we don't have an internet for 10 minutes, we will be in a kind of a black hole. That's the kind of situation that we are in now. So to really understand and to take you through my research, I want to explore how we can make use of this opportunity, which we instead of the technology leading us somewhere, we need to be in sync with the technology and to make use of it. If we have to do integration of digital environment in schools, we need to really relook at what we mean by education. Now, I read a lot of journals, a lot of articles, and a lot of versed individuals trying to understand and define what 21st century learning requirements are. For me, if I summarize, I would put it into connecting minds, creating the future, opportunity, sustainability, mobility, hands-on learning and experimentation, and creativity. So in addition to all our basic subjects that we teach in our schools, all our teachers and educators are trying really hard to inculcate one of these fundamentals into the children. Now, when we talk about collecting minds and creating the future, we would like to inculcate good habits. We would like to inculcate collaboration, teamwork, morality. The reason why I'm sharing all this as a starting slide for our digital environment is to take you through the journey that we are all going through and to use the digital learning environment and to come up with something very innovative. That's the whole objective. Second, we are trying to create opportunity for your new generation. We are trying to create maker spaces. We are trying to create a sports environment. We are trying to create musical environment. How do we create all this using digital technology? That's the attempt that we are going to make today. If we take it to the next level of understanding sustainability, how do we teach environmental protection? How do we teach reduce, reuse, and recycle? How do we teach renewables? And how do we teach grow green? Whether we should introduce hydroponics or green walls in a classroom, whether we need to have a solar panel along the roof of the existing schools, whether we need to have a water catcher next to the all these are the things, all these are experimentation that we are having now in our educational building. We are also having a tremendous technology innovations in terms of visual reality, artificial intelligence. We have multiple products available in the market. We are using big data, knowingly, unknowingly. We are using geographic information systems. We have Wi-Fi everywhere. We have learning happening anywhere and anytime. How do we modify or use this into existing school environment? That's the attempt of my research. We also need hands-on learning and experimentation. We need to teach how to play guitar. We need to teach children how to hike. We need them to touch and feel nature. We need to develop maybe dramatic skills. We need to have electronic skills amongst our children, all to take care of the future job market. We don't know what job market and how many professions they need to change in their career. We need to train them in multiple skill sets, which are very close to human beings in terms of creative endeavors. How do we create a space for a pottery in the classroom? How do we create a kind of a lathe machine integrated into the existing classrooms? We are having all these kind of debate in this part of the world, and schools want to convert each classroom as a STEM learning environment. Instead of having isolated experimentation labs, they want everything to happen in a single classroom. With all these human physical requirements, we have a kind of onslaught of technology now. We have digital classrooms, we have display boards, we have video record captures, we have robots for cleaning the schools and buildings. We have Wi-Fi sensors for security systems. We have monitors and display of air quality, air conditioning systems and BMS of a building already shown to the children to show how the building works. We have the supplies and inventory tracker for planning the resources in the classrooms. So we have a kind of a flurry of Internet of Things in the classroom. With all these, I would like to have a kind of analysis of what an ideal classroom should be. Whether we should teach the same kind of a technology innovations in the existing classroom with 4 walls and all the children facing a blackboard and teacher trying very hard for every child to be on par with a certain evaluation criteria, which will take them to the next grade. That's how we are now gauging our capabilities, children's capabilities, and that's the need of our education system. Now, what is happening is, in the existing scenario, we have each subject being taught in isolation. I know there have been very good attempts by educators and schools to integrate various modes of techniques and methodology to combine this into a blended learning environment. Now, as we proceed, when the technology and information is available anywhere, anytime, and on a touch of a button, we need to identify the synergies between, let's say, music and business. We need to identify synergies between science and design technologies. We need to understand synergies between humanities and art. Then we will try to create a kind of a new generation who can evaluate the existing information creatively, because we would like to give them a kickstart. They did not start from zero. We would like to encourage them to start from, let's say, 100 to reach to 1,000. How do we do that? If we look at the same typical classroom, we could bring up collaborative learning using digital technology. Now, when we combine collaborative learning and blended learning environments, our research and our projects that we have been doing, we found that it is very helpful for children if we break these 4 walls. If you see the dotted lines that I've shown here are the...
And now speaking came, but the video stopped.
Hello, Sri, can you hear me? There was a disturbance in between.
Now video, how video is stopped?
Hello, hello, Sri, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
All right, all right. So, yeah.
Maybe all others, please mute the mic. Then it will be without disruption. Discussion can continue.
Thanks, Doctor. Thank you very much. Right. So we found that conventional classrooms, if you see the 4 walls and the washrooms attached, if we open up these classrooms and convert this into blended learning, we could experiment with various modules. Now, if you see a small, this is a small amphitheater that we have created inside the classroom with hydroponics inbuilt into the open air seating system. Now, this was the design, and this is the photograph of the actual live product that we have built. It connected artificial intelligence, it is connected to internet, it is connected to moisture controller, and hydroponics is taught in the classroom in a kind of a phygital environment. We also have an experimentation using Buckminster Fuller dome concept. This is the fundamental of architecture using modular elements, which is placed again in a zone which is very, very convenient for children to come in for meetings, discussions, and also learn about building technology. We can also have a makerspace concept inside. So again, if you see, this was a concept of our Buckminster Fuller dome design, and the photograph shows how it has been built on site. So we are using various modules and the phygital environment to create blended learning environment for the same density of students, but with project-based learning and collaborative learning. So if you take one classroom, one row of children can work on agricultural innovations in drone technology, for example. The second section can discuss on the business aspects of agriculture. The third team can discuss on the genetics of agriculture. And finally, as a group, all can come together in the open air theater as a forum to share the findings of each team and come to a conclusion of how agriculture can be taken forward as a business or as an R&D facility. Similarly, if we take it to the next level from classrooms to specialty classrooms, we would like to break the barriers between art and design, science, design technology, engineering, and robotics to bring everything together into a blended learning environment like this form. This form shows how the knowledge base can be shared and how the physical space can be shared to teach agriculture as an example. We could use the same available prototypes in terms of workspace, storages, products, Wi-Fi technology, the products available with various vendors. Now we have multiple vendors in the market to supply interactive screens, virtual reality, all can be brought together to create a very, very, very innovative work environment and study environment. Now, this is a project that I have already implemented in a outstanding school in Dubai, which shows a combination of STEM education with an additional M. Now, when I say additional M is the addition of morality in STEM education. So when you teach technology and robotics to children in these work cluster, we would like to bring ethical value and morality so that the scientists work for the human civilization and the benefit of the human civilization. So here, summarizing my findings, we found that creating cluster learning, project-based learning in terms of innovative forms, which makes children inquisitive and also happy, and connect them with modern technology in terms of Wi-Fi. Here, if you see, there is an interactive screen, and children can collaborate and talk to students all across the world, and also share their findings with the students in the next cluster. So this is a live project that we have implemented with this modern thought process. Finally, just another topic for our discussions would be, we have online classrooms, we have homeschooling. Our findings are the future schools will become a kind of interaction zones and a community hub and a focal point of the entire neighborhood, where children come for physical education, STEM learning, innovations, share their findings, and then go back home to do further evaluations. And teachers and educators like us will be there in the classrooms and also online to lead them to the next level of learning systems. So this was my findings and what I've been executing in this part of the world. And I will request Sri to take the discussions forum forward. And as we discuss further, we'll come up with more innovative ideas from all the team members that we have on board today. Thank you, Sri. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Pradeep. Actually, after seeing this, we feel like becoming children again, because we lost this opportunity to be in this kind of space. I remember our schools, it was all filled with walls, and only play areas were the playgrounds, and we never get the enough time to play. So that was the situation when we used to learn. So this looks a bit futuristic, but still, I'm sure that some of the elements will start being integrated into the design now itself.